it's time to deal with all of these single skeins. Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my stash journey and what I plan on doing with all of my single skeins. Now, I recently restarted my stash journey. I cleared out my shelves, I did a little refresh of all of my yarn and moved some of the yarn that I wasn't feeling anymore out of my stash. But I was still left with a significant amount of yarn in my stash, and particularly a significant amount of single skeins. Now, something that has happened to me, and I'm sure happens to everyone along their making journey, is especially in the beginning when I was starting to buy hand-dyed yarn, but it wasn't necessarily always within my means to buy hand-dyed yarn. I would find a really pretty skein and I would think, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, I'm gonna get just this one. Well, there's not a ton that you can do with a single skein. Now there's plenty you can do with a single skein. However, you are a bit more limited than if you have a sweater's quantity or something like that, you know? So I have been left with all of these beautiful single skeins that have been kind of sitting in my yarn closet, tucked in the corner, and I kind of give them the side eye every once in a while, and I don't often reach for them because I don't know what to do. And I've decided to put an end to this. So what I did earlier today is I sat down and I wrote down every single skein that I currently have, and I have 26 of them. Now, I really tried to get to 25 to pick a skein that I didn't want anymore and to make it 25 because 25 sounded way better than 26, but you know what, I just couldn't decide which one I wanted to get rid of, and I need some more time with them to think about it, so we're gonna go with 26. We're just gonna leave it at 26. Now, some of these yarns I do have specific plans for, and some of them I don't. Most of them I don't. Some of them, like some of my self-striping yarns, are pretty much definitely going to be a pair of socks. Some of the other yarns I have some ideas for, something that I might like to make with them, but I don't have any concrete plans. So let's talk through what I have really quickly, and then we'll talk about what I'm gonna do with them. You'll notice that some of these yarns have been caked up already, and that is because I am a serial yarn caker. I will get really excited about a yarn and want to make something immediately, and I will cake it up, and then almost as immediately I will decide it's not time to work on that item. So I will then leave it caked. So some of these are already wound up because I just couldn't wait any longer. Starting with my self-striping yarn, I have the Kirby Werby 2023 Friends themed Advent skein. I have a skein of Woolens and Nosh Targhee sock base in Day Hiking, and I have a skein of Woolens and Nosh Superwash Merino in the colorway Hawaiian Shirt. In terms of yarns that I have plans for already, I have Emma's yarn. This is a Hella Hank in the colorway Cherry Merlot. Now this is actually only half of a hella hank, so it is about, I think, 75 grams worth of yarn, and this I'm counting as a full skein because I took the hella hank and I split it in half for myself and my friend Becky, and we are going to be making some matching socks. Actually, I think Becky already has a head start on me, but that is what this yarn is destined to become. I also have another Emma's Yarn Hella Hank in the colorway Kale, and this is actually a full Hella Hank, and I'm thinking I want to make the Little Wolf Knits East Coast shorts out of this. I think there should be enough. I might need a contrast color for the waistband, but I'm not positive. So I think that's what this is going to become, but it's not set in stone yet. I have a skein of Knit Picks Swish Pops, which is DK weight in the colorway EDM, and this is destined to become a hat for my husband. I already made him some socks in this colorway, and I will be making him a hat whenever I decide it's time to use this yarn. And now everything else, I have no idea what I'm going to do with. So let's dive into it. First, some random things. I have 2 skeins of Shibui Pebble, which I am counting as one because they are only 25 gram skeins, and so basically together they make 50 grams, and I think that's enough for me to find something to do with them. So I'm counting these as one. This is in the colorway Shore, and this yarn is discontinued, so I can't get any more of it, so I'm gonna have to get creative and figure out something to do with these. I have a random skein of Malabrigo sock yarn that used to be in the colorway, I have no idea. It's not written on this tag. Anyway, it used to be a gray color, and then I threw it in some tea and dyed it myself. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but it came out this beautiful reddish brown color, and I definitely want to use it. I just don't know what for yet. I have a skein of Mad Tosh Twist Light in the colorway SS18. I forget, at one point I looked up what that meant. I forget what it means, but I picked this up. This was buried in a yarn store many years ago, and I picked it up and I just thought it was really pretty, and I, again, just got it because it was pretty, and I have no plans. Never had plans, still don't have plans, don't know when I will have plans. I have a skein of Ken Yarn Aurora Fingering in the colorway Pickled Carrot. This is also a discontinued yarn, but it is beautiful and I can't wait to use it. I do have potentially an idea of what I would like to do with this, but I'm not committed to it yet. So as of right now, this still does not have a home. I have a skein of Earth and Empress Fibers classic sock in the colorway Patchwork. Earth and Empress is a local dyer to me in Connecticut, and I love them a lot, love supporting them. So this is just an absolutely gorgeous color, and I can't wait to use it. I think it has to be like maybe a tank top or something for me. It's beautiful. Next, I have Beachy Breeze Fibers, sock weight yarn in the colorway Snow-Capped Mountains. This is wound up because I already swatched with this for a project many years ago, and decided not to continue with it just because the yarn and the project were not working well, not anything to do with the yarn. Beachy Breeze Fibers is another Connecticut dyer, so that is really cool. I can't wait to use this. It's beautiful. It's this neutral base with blue and greeny speckles on it. Is that, there we go. And yeah, it's not often that I use neutrals like this, so this will have to become something special. And then I have a skein of the Little Wolf Knits Sunfish base in the colorway Up at Dawn, which was an exclusive colorway for Nitty Natty's Sock Week, I think 2 summers ago. So this is beautiful, and it's one of those colorways that I've just been like, it's so beautiful, I don't know, I can't find the perfect project for it, and I don't know what to do with it, but I love it. As you can see, it's wound up. I did swatch something with it already, but I'm not convinced, so to be determined. And now we head into some dyers that I have multiple colorways from. And first up we have Sewrella yarn. I only have 3 skeins because I actually have worked my way through some of my Sewrella yarn. But first up I have the colorway Coffee. All of these are from their Knitflix collection. This is the colorway Coffee, which is inspired by comedians in cars getting coffee. I have the colorway Shop Around the Corner, which is inspired by You've Got Mail, one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. And I have the colorway Everything is Fine, which is inspired by the TV show The Good Place, which if you have not watched it, watch it right now and then talk to me about it, please. And now we have to discuss Yarnable, because I had a Yarnable subscription for a little while and their sock yarn is my absolute favorite yarn of all time. I love it so much. I loved getting my subscription. I recently had to cancel it just because it financially was not something that I could do at the moment, but if it becomes possible for me, I will resubscribe in a heartbeat. I love the Yarnable subscription. But the problem is I was getting all of these single skeins and I'm not that much of a sock maker. I do occasionally make socks, but you know, I don't do it enough to use a skein a month. So I have quite a backlog of Yarnable skeins. First up, this caked one is the Raven, which is, oh my gosh, so good. It's white with black and neon pink and neon green speckles in it. Oh my gosh, just gorgeous. Absolutely stinking gorgeous. Next up, another one that is a fan favorite among a lot of Yarnable subscribers is Spellbound, which was from October 2023. This is obviously a more seasonal colorway, but I think it's beautiful. I love it, and I don't feel like I will need to wait until October time to use this. We have, not all of these have the date on them, so I don't know what months a lot of these were from. This is Unicorn Dreamscape, which is this beautiful pastel-y faded colorway. Gorgeous. Laugh S'more, Worry Less. Adorable. We have Sinful Delight, which I think is one of my favorites, and I love this with Mossy Hollow. I mean, come on. But then also take Mossy Hollow and put it with Grow with the Flow. Come on, right? It's perfect. And then we have just a couple more. I have Rest, Relax, Recharge. Sweet Liberty, which looks like a watermelon. And last but not least, we have Some Bunny Loves You. Now, what the heck am I gonna do with all of these skeins? I mentioned earlier that I sat down and wrote a list of all the single skeins that I have. Well, what I did after that is I cut up my list and I folded them up and I put them all in a mug. This mug was a gift and it says, "Too many books. I think what you mean is not enough bookshelves." Now, we're talking yarn and not books, but I was inspired by the book community on YouTube because a lot of them will pick a book title out of a jar for their what they're going to read in a certain month, or maybe they might challenge themselves to read in a vlog or something like that, and they will pick out of their, it's called a TBR jar frequently in the booktube community, and they will pick something out and then have to read it. And I thought, I've recently discovered that it is pretty feasible for me to work through one fingering weight skein of yarn within a week. So I will be now pulling yarn out of this cup and challenging myself to use it within a week. I'll be calling it 1 week, 1 skein. And I'm going to try to do this once a month, pick out a yarn, and find a project for it. Now obviously some of them already have projects assigned, so for instance if I pick out the yarn that I will be using for a hat for my husband, then that month I will be making a hat for my husband. But if I pick out, you know, one of my random Yarnable skeins that I don't have any plans for, I will need to figure out what I want to do. I have started a bundle on Ravelry of some project ideas and some things that I might love to make out of these skeins. I do have the ability to make a cropped tank out of 1 skein of fingering weight yarn, usually. It obviously depends on the pattern. If it's crochet, sometimes I will run out of yarn. So for me and my body, I am usually able to get a cropped tank out of a skein of fingering weight yarn. I do understand that that makes me lucky in that I have more options than hats, gloves, shawls, socks for my options. But for me, that's what I am working with, and I'm really excited. I'm scared, but I'm excited. I'm planning on doing a vlog of the experience every month, and I will pick out my yarn at the beginning of the vlog, and then I will figure out what I want to do, and I will get to work. Oh, and I think, you know, this is a fun challenge. I don't want to be making myself not have fun with it. So I think what I'm going to do is give myself some veto power if I pull something out and I really don't feel like working with it. You know, for instance, what if it is April and I pull out my Halloween yarn and I just really don't feel like working with it? I'm going to let myself pick out a second yarn. I also might pick out a yarn and it might help me realize that I actually want to destash it and I don't want to work with it. And in that case, I will pass it along and I'll pick out another yarn. So we'll see. We'll see how long this lasts. I also might end up using some of this yarn in between vlogs, and it might not, they might not always make it into a vlog, but I think that this is going to be a really fun way for me to try and challenge myself to get some of this yarn used and kind of get my wheels turning a little bit and help me figure out some creative ways to work with what I've got. So let me know what you think. Let me know which yarn you're hoping I pull out of my little mug first, and let me know if you have any pattern recommendations for me that use up 1 skein. I'm looking for anything. Hats, shawls, scarves. I'm not really a glove or fingerless mitt maker, but I'll take the recommendations. If there are any fun sock patterns you have, if there are any 1 skein garment patterns you might have, let me know so I can add them to my bundle. And until next time, take care of you, and I'll see you for our first challenge next month. Bye.